welcome. For this yin class, grab a few props if you have them. So some blankets, maybe one or two. If you don't have blankets, you can use towels. If you have blocks, a couple of those, and if you have a bolster. And all these things we can substitute out if you don't have the necessary props. So we'll hold the poses for about 2 to 3 moments, or 2 to 3 minutes each in this practice. Just make sure that you listen to your body, and if anything starts to cause you pain, you'll come out of it and adjust yourself so that you are out of pain. All right, so sitting in a position that's comfortable for you, roll your shoulders up, back, and down, and close your eyes. And just take a few moments to observe your breath. Notice how it's flowing in and out of your nose. Notice how your body responds. Chest will lift and expand as you breathe in, and it will relax as you breathe out. Now noticing how your body feels is quickly scanning from head to toe or toe to head, whichever you prefer. Just checking in with each part of your body, particularly those places where you normally hold some tension, your neck, your shoulders, maybe a little bit in the low back, the hips. So just being aware of that as we move through the practice today, listening to what your body's telling you, adjusting yourself in the pose as you need to. And then finally bringing your attention to your thoughts. So where are your thoughts right now? Are they positive? Are they negative? Is your mind busy? Is it fairly still? And now we're going to use the breath to just control all those things. So we're going to control our breath, we're going to control the relaxation in our body, and we're going to control the thoughts in our mind by just focusing on breathing in a little bit longer, breathing out a little bit longer and slower. Doing that about 5 times. A nice slow breath in, holding it at the top. Longer, slower breath out. Feeling tension release. 3 more times. And now making this your last one. And then after that, letting the breath return to its normal rhythm. Bring your hands to your heart, drop your chin to your chest. Just take a moment here to think about what you would like out of your day and your practice, and set an intention for that to happen for you. And it could be just something as simple as, I want to listen to my body, I want to relax, I want to calm my thoughts, still my mind. And then take an inhale, reach your arms up and look up. And on your exhale, bring your arms down. Lightly touch your fingertips on the floor on either side of your mat. Let your shoulders soften, let your chin drop down. Bring your head up and start to bring your arms back up on an inhale. Bring your palms together again, and then exhale. And bring your hands to the heart center. And then you can bring your arms down. I'll start by just straightening the legs out in front of us. And we're going to start with a shoulder stretch. So you're going to bring one arm across the chest, the other arm you're going to bring underneath, and you're going to just lightly hold on to that shoulder. And just sit up really tall here, but relax. Let the shoulders drop down. And then drop your ear down to that shoulder. So you're tipping your head towards the hand that's reaching out to the side. And you keep this hand really soft, or you can start to just gently rotate out the wrist a little bit. And if you're rotating the wrist, go in the opposite direction. Then just let the hand relax, and either you can just keep your arm out here to the side, or you can lightly grab the opposite shoulder. Keep the shoulders down, keep sitting up nice and tall. Just let the weight of your head stretch the neck on that side. We're not forcing anything, we're nice and relaxed. Now bringing your head back up to center. Take that arm that's in front and bring it up alongside the head. Bend the elbow, bring the hand back between the shoulder blades or near the shoulder blade area, and then take your other hand and just rest it at your low back. Good. And depending on how your shoulders feel, you might be able to inch your bottom hand up a little bit towards your back. And now we're going to turn the head and just look over the shoulder. Sit up straight. Continue to keep the shoulders relaxed. And then also relax your face. Just a couple more breaths. Start to bring your back hand down. Start to turn your head back to center, and then bring that arm all the way back down. Just start to roll your shoulders. And then reverse the direction that you're rolling. Okay, and then we'll do the other arm. So the arm will come across the chest, the other one will come underneath, and just hold on lightly to that shoulder. Shoulder will relax, you'll sit up tall. This arm is relaxed unless you want to move the wrist around. And then just like before, we're going to drop our head to the side. Reverse the circles if you're circling your wrists. And then just let the hand and the wrist relax. And you always have the option to just lightly rest your hand on your other shoulder if you like. Keep the shoulders down, keep sitting up tall. Keep your face relaxed. Slowly bring your head back and bring your arm up alongside your ear, bend the elbow, take that other hand, well you can keep it here or you can bring it back. And then just starting to walk the hand or slide the hand up the back if it'll go a little bit further, turning your head and looking over that low shoulder. Backing off if you need to here. Keeping that length in the spine. Notice if you're starting to lean forward a little bit. If you are, just slowly rocking back to an upright position. About 3 more breaths. Start to first bring the back hand down. We'll bring the head back to center and the arm all the way down. And let's just make our circles bigger this time. And then reverse. Okay. Okay, so now let's bring the feet to the mat with the knees bent, the hands behind us, and just start to move from side to side. So your feet are fairly wide here, hip distance apart, or you can move them even wider if you like my nice and wide. And don't rush this, make it nice and slow. Notice how you feel. You probably notice a little bit in your back here as you go from side to side, in addition to what you notice in your hips. All right, coming back, walking the feet into hip distance apart. Walk them in a little closer this time instead of a little taller. And then let's just bring the arms around and just gently hold on to the arms or at the legs, wherever it feels comfortable. I like the elbows. And then just let your head drop down. Come back up to an upright position and then come to cross-legged if that feels comfortable for you. If it doesn't, find something that does. We're just going to slowly circle around now. We're not going really big at first. We're just going to keep it small. And now reverse. To the center. Taking a little twist, so we're just going to come across the body with one hand rested near our knee or the upper thigh area, the other one behind. So your back hand, you're on your fingertips on a blanket or a block, or depending on the length of the arm, maybe you can even bring your palm to flat. So make sure your back is straight, your shoulders are down. Your head is between your shoulders. And if you can go a little bit deeper, feel like you want a little bit more, you can take your front hand, slide it further down, up your leg, I guess, towards your hip. And then maybe your back hand will move a little bit more towards the opposite side of your mat. Don't force the twist, just make it fairly relaxed here. Another 5 breaths. Back off if you need to a little sooner. And inhale, and on your exhale, come back to center. Switch the cross of your legs so the other leg's in front. Or if you're sitting in a different way, you can also switch your legs in a different position. Then we'll just do the same thing, coming across the body with the opposite arm. Sitting up tall, letting the shoulders soften, the face relax. And 5 more breaths again. And then inhale, and on your exhale, twist back to center. Okay, and again, we're going to just shake the legs out. Okay, so if you're not sitting on a blanket or a pillow or a block, you might want to do that for this pose. I'm going to turn sideways because we're going to come into a straddle. So depending on how your back feels, you might want to bring your blanket a little bit higher or put a block underneath you. So just opening your legs out to wherever's comfortable for you. Also having some extra blankets or blocks or something if you want to put them underneath your knees as we start to hinge. So first of all, we're gonna just walk our hands over to one side, so one hand's on either side of our leg, and we're up on the fingertips, we're right underneath the shoulders, and then we're just gonna start to walk the hands forward and let the body start to hinge. And you'll know when to stop. Rather than rounding and bringing the head down, let's keep the back straight and the chin forward, the shoulders down. So if you were to be looking at something, it would probably be your foot or something in front of your foot, but you can close your eyes. If you feel a pretty intense stretch in the back of your thighs, that's where you can take a prop like a blanket and roll it and put it underneath your knee. You could also, if you want, put your blocks if you have them, or your blankets, if you, whatever you have, to just bring you some elevation underneath your hands. But we're not really worrying about coming so far forward because we're keeping the back straight, so it's not going to be a deep forward fold. Again, just remember to keep the shoulders back and down, the chest broad, the back straight. And to bend your knee as much as you need to here, or to, like I said, put something underneath it to relieve any deep stretch in your hamstring. We don't want a deep stretch here, we want a gentle stretch. And now, rather than focusing on the sensation in your leg or wherever you're feeling it, maybe a little bit in your low back, focus on your breath. Focus on something else that helps you relax. Notice if you've started to tense up through your face and your jaw. You're going to make an effort to take out that tension, to soften, separate your jaw, relax your mouth, relax the muscles around your eyes, relax your forehead. Now we have a few more breaths here. You can always start to walk your hands back in a little bit closer towards you if you feel like you need to do that. But if you feel fairly comfortable here, let's try to hold for another 5 breaths. Start to walk your hands back towards you until they get about underneath your shoulders. Gently lift yourself up, twist yourself back to center, and then we're going to go straight to the other side. So one hand on either side of your other leg, starting with the hands underneath the shoulders, keeping the back straight, the chin up, and then starting to walk the hands away from you. Again, until you can find a comfortable place to hold. Relax your shoulders. Again, bend your knee if you need to, or slide something underneath your knee. If you went a little bit too far, walk your hands a little bit closer in. Maybe grab some blocks again, put them underneath your forearms or underneath your hands. This all depends on how far forward you can fold. Relaxing. shoulders relaxed? Is your face soft? And just a few more breaths. Now starting to walk your hands back in so they're underneath your shoulders, gently lifting yourself up and then slowly twisting back to center. Okay, and then finally we're going to move forward. Now this is hard for a lot of people generally, so one thing that you can do is you can use blocks. As many as you need, just bring your arms here maybe. Okay. And as you're able to fold further, you can move your blocks further away. It might be better to have them like this. I don't know. Maybe you only need them like this high. Just depends on how far you. The other thing, if you have a bolster, I don't think most people probably have bolsters at home. You can also bring your bolster in towards you here. Just hold on right here. Allow yourself to gently hinge. Or you can put something underneath your bolster to keep it in an upright position. The other thing you can do is just take a pillow, if you don't have it, or a bolster, prop it up a little bit higher, and then just come forward like this. So again, it really just depends on how far forward you're able to come. You might just bring your hands underneath your shoulders, or bring your hands to blocks, and just gently hinge here. If you're able to go a little bit deeper, you keep walking your hands down. You can come down and bring your forearms to blocks. Maybe all the way to the floor. So it really just depends on your flexibility here. Shoulders, again, are relaxed. We're keeping the back straight, so we're not rounding again. Keeping the chin up. Arms are just straight out in front of you, little bend or soft through the elbows here. Stay here for about 5 more breaths. Slowly starting to bring the arms in underneath you. Slowly coming back to the upright position. And slowly bringing the legs together. Straighten them out. And then just open and close them. Okay. Come onto your hands and knees. So pad your knees with something if you don't have a really soft surface. Or if you're just normally used to doing that, so that would be where your towel or your blanket could come in. And then just round your back and relax your back. Shoulders will soften too, elbows again are relaxed. Your head doesn't really have to be included with this if you don't want to. You can just be fairly neutral, or you can look up and you can really round and bring the chin in. So it really just depends on how your back feels, how deep you want to go here. So your breath will correspond with your movement, inhaling in one position, exhaling in the other. Now shifting the hips from side to side. Back is neutral here. Head is relaxed, shoulders and elbows are soft. Okay, and then back to center. So we're going to keep the hips fairly high, but we're going to walk the hands over to one side. So you'll stretch the arms out and you'll drop the head down. Now if the head doesn't easily come down to the floor, you can stack your fists and bring your arms in underneath you, or you can put a blanket or a block underneath. Just getting a little bit of a shoulder stretch and a side stretch here. Letting the chest relax. Okay, lifting up your head, walking your hands in so they're underneath you, going to the center of your mat and then over to the other side. So first move to the side, then start to stretch the arms out, start to drop the head down, and then relax the elbows and the shoulders. Notice how this side feels in comparison to the other side. Now you can always move a little bit closer to the center of your mat if you're feeling maybe an intense stretch in the outer hip area that might be affected. You could also adjust your legs so they're a little bit wider. It might feel better. Shoulders are really tight, you can start to draw them in a little bit closer, bring your hands underneath your forehead. Okay, now walking or bringing your hands in, walking your hands in up underneath you, lifting up, and then we're coming back to the center position. Okay, for this one I like a blanket in front of me, but if you don't, or a towel, or you can even use a bolster if you have one. We're gonna come down onto our bellies. So what I like to use is the blanket underneath my elbows and my arm area here, shoulders relaxed. So legs are about hip distance apart, if that feels okay for you. If it doesn't feel okay for you to have your elbows underneath your shoulders, which gives you a pretty deep arch in the back, just move your arms away from you until your back feels relaxed. Let your neck be soft as well. And you can even move your elbows out to the side, bring your hands underneath you if you like that a little bit better. You can stack your hands or stack your fists and rest your chin there if you like that. You could use a block too. If you need a little bit more, you just draw the elbows in closer to underneath you, and that'll bring your body more upright. Again, you're going to keep the shoulders relaxed and down, your neck in a neutral position, so you either look forward or forward and down. Or you could also, I guess, look straight down. That doesn't feel so good on my neck, but it might feel okay for yours. Notice if your shoulders have started to tense up. Notice if you started to tense up through your face, your jaw, and then you're relaxing if you have tightened up any place, especially those two places. About 8 more breaths. Then slowly starting to slide your arms away from you, lowering your upper body all the way down, forehead to the mat. Now if you want, you can bend your knees here, bring your feet up, and just stay there, or you can rock from side to side. Or you can just move your ankles around. Circle them. Reverse your circles. And then if your legs are up, lower them down. Lift your head, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, and then we're going to press back up. Okay, so we're not going to stay up though, we're going to move on to our side. So you're going to bring, let's bring the bring ourselves down onto the side. I like, again, a blanket underneath my upper body where my shoulders and my head are going to be. Okay, so we're going to start out with the legs stacked, and maybe I'll turn sideways. Okay, so we're going to start out with the legs stacked and fairly, slightly just comfortable. A blanket or a block can come in front of you if you want. So we're just going to lower down this bottom arm wherever's comfortable for you. You can cradle your head in your arm, or you can stretch your arm out or bring it in front of you. Doesn't really matter. I have mine just kind of underneath me and resting on my back, on the back of my neck. Okay, from here, top leg is going to come out in front. So the legs are still stacked, the top leg is straight, and I like mine resting on a prop. But you can be on, it's better, I think, if it's resting on a prop. So if you have the blanket or a block, you can put underneath. Okay, now option 1 is to stay here. Option 2 is to start to take the bottom leg further back behind you. Okay, you'll find a pretty bigger stretch there. You'll know when you need to stop. You won't be able to really go much further. Okay, there's option 2, stay there. Option 3 is to start to bring the foot up towards the ceiling. Stay there, and you can just rest your top hand on your hip. Or if you can lightly grab on to your foot or to one of your toes, you can just hold on to your foot there. Maybe you can draw your leg a little bit further back once you get hold of your foot. Maybe that's a little bit too much. So judge what feels good to you. You'll feel a little stretch in your quad for sure. You'll feel a little stretch in your shoulder. Try to keep your arm as relaxed as possible. Now, again, you can stay here, or you can start to roll a little bit more onto your back so that instead of looking forward, you're looking up towards the ceiling. It doesn't really feel that comfortable for me today, so I'm just going to stay on my side. And don't worry if you can't grab onto your leg. Your foot can just come up and your hand can just rest here. And your leg can lower if you don't like that foot up. Okay, so again, find some stillness here. Keep the shoulders as relaxed as you can. That if you're holding onto your leg or to the back of your neck, your grip is just really relaxed and soft. Now, if you're holding onto your foot or your toes, go ahead and start to let go of them and lower that leg back down to the floor. Scoot your knee back in so it's underneath your top leg and your top leg so your knees are stacked. Slowly roll onto your back. Pull your knees to your chest, rock from side to side.
hold. If you want, you can cross your ankles, hold on to your knees or your shuns, or just let your arms rest down by your side. Let your back soften. Okay, lower your feet to the floor, about hip distance apart with those feet and legs, and then again we're just going to windshield wiper from side to side. Arms can be on your legs, and they can be down by your side, out in the T, whatever feels good to you on your belly. Okay, and then we're going to do that same pose on the other side. So I'm going to turn the other way. Okay, so again, you're going to come to laying on your other side, and you're going to just rest your head on your arm or wherever's comfortable for you. Okay, and then your legs are going to start out stacked. You're going to take the top leg out and maybe rest it on something in front of you. Okay, then from here, your bottom leg can start to move away if you want to go there. You do not have to. You can stay right here. And then once you've gotten to the place where your leg is a little bit further back, if you want, you can bend in the knee and bring, or well, I guess not bend the knee, but lift the foot and bring that lower part of your leg up. And you'll grab onto the foot, or the toes, or whatever, if you can reach them. If you can't, hand just resting on your top leg. And again, you always have the option to start to roll back a little bit. I'll give you a little bit more work in the back. I need stillness and relaxation again. Now releasing your hand from your leg if you have it, lowering that leg down, starting to slide the leg back in. So it's underneath your top leg, and then your top leg can bend. And you're in fetal position. Okay, from here what we're going to do is just lift up to a seated position for a moment just to get some props ready. So you need two things, 2 blankets or 2 towels. And we're going to take one of our blankets and we're going to roll it
And the other one is just gonna be folded like in a flat leg position, like so. See, I think I'll face this way. Oh, no, I guess I'll face this way. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the rolled blankets, we're gonna sit right in front of it, so it's gonna come to our low back area. And then we're gonna start by bending your knees and start to work yourself slowly down to your mat. Okay, so you might need to lift your hips and adjust the blanket so it feels okay wherever you're at. Okay, and then that other blanket you'll just lift up and put underneath your shoulder blades. Arms out. Legs, if it feels okay for you, will start to straighten. Chin is up or slightly down towards your chest. Again, whatever feels the best on your neck. Now, if it bothers you to have the legs straight, if you feel that's a little bit too much pressure on your low back, you can always come to the knees bent and the feet planted. If your shoulders are tight, you can slightly bend your elbows and draw your elbows in a little bit closer towards your sides. About 10 more breaths here. Okay, now if your legs are straight, start by bending one knee, planting the foot, bending the other knee, planting the foot, lifting the hips. You can bring the arms down, grab your rolled blanket, slide it out, lower the hips down. And then you can also just lift up. And you can probably just slide the blanket underneath your head if you like it there. I'm gonna turn around and face the other way. So my blanket's gonna be here where my head is. Okay. So now on your back, again, pull your knees towards your chest. Maybe circle around this time.
reverse and circle the other way. If you're circling, you can always just hold if you like that better. Okay, now dropping one foot to the floor, we're going to pull the other knee towards our chest. Relax through the upper body again, shoulders down, elbows in by your side. Okay, now starting to walk that foot just a little bit further away. Then we're going to open the knee out to the side, bring the ankle onto that other thigh, and then you can start to slide the foot back in. Option one is stay here with your foot on the floor, or you can lift your foot, put it on a block, or you can just lift your foot so it's elevated. Feel a little stretch in your outer hip area here. Make sure that your back and your hips are down, especially if your foot is lifted off the floor. Your upper body relaxed. And you don't really have to use the arms on this one unless you want to hold on to your leg. If your foot is on a block, have the heel hanging off the back side closest to you. That'll keep your foot from slipping. Now just notice your hips. Notice if you're starting to roll to one side. And if you are, you're just going to slowly rock yourself back to center. Okay, and then find that place where you can relax. Okay, so now if your foot is up on a block or just lifted off the floor, the first thing we'll do is lower that foot. Okay, and then we'll start to straighten the bottom leg, and then we'll just straighten the top leg, and we'll take a long body stretch. Reach the arms overhead, move the fingers, the toes, the ankles, the wrists. Point and flex your feet. Rotate your ankles, whatever feels good here. And then start to bring your arms back down by your side. So bend your knees again, plant your feet. And then we'll pull the other knee towards the chest. And just relax the shoulders. You might want to do that little circle rotation up, back, and down again. Relax your neck, your chin, your back, and your hips. You can hold on behind the thigh if you like that better. Okay, now we're going to take that other leg and just start to walk the foot away from us. And then we're going to move that Knee out to the side. We're going to bring the ankle on top of that leg. Okay, stay here or start to slide your foot back in. So maybe your ankle is about underneath your knee. Option to stay here or to bring the lower foot up onto a block or into an elevated position. Check your hip position. If you're rolling to one side here, you're just going to gently roll back so that you're in the center of your mat. And the arms are your choice here, holding onto your legs if you like, maybe coming out to a T shape or bringing the arms down by your side. Resting the hands on the belly, the hips, finding whatever's comfortable for you. Okay, and then lowering the foot to the floor if it's up. And starting to straighten the bottom leg, straightening the top leg. And again, just taking a little stretch here. Pull your knees to your chest, start to circle your hips. Knees going out, away from each other and coming back in. Real gentle here. Reverse. Legs up towards the ceiling, point and flex. And again, circle. And then reverse. Okay, then when you're ready, you can find your final pose of class, so whatever feels comfortable for you to rest in, Shavasana. So just maybe traditional corpse pose, maybe something behind your knees like a rolled blanket. If you have a wall nearby, you could bring yourself in to the wall and put your legs up the wall. Your legs could be wide, your arms could be out. You could be in the position of an X also. Or you can just have your arms down by your side, wherever's comfortable for you, and your legs apart at whatever position is comfortable for you. So a position where you can rest in. Allow your eyes to soften. And get a little bit heavier. Allow your breath to become soft and relaxed. And then do the same thing. Allow your body to become soft and relaxed. And then finally, bringing your mind to present. So if you've noticed that your thoughts have started to drift, you're going to come back to what you're doing right now. So the first thing you can do is focus on your breathing. Notice your chest rise and fall. And if you need another way to still your mind, just focus on a place in your mind, just one place where you feel calm and relaxed and at peace. And envision yourself there. Notice the sounds that are there. Taking in everything around you that you might see when you're there. What it might smell like there. Now just relax, let go. So always knowing you can stay here as long as you want. And now only if you're ready, starting to move again, starting to deepen your breath, starting to stretch. Bending your knees if you haven't, bringing your feet to the floor, the knees to the chest. Taking time for whatever movement or stillness you want here. Rocking if that feels good to you. And then slowly, as you're ready, making your way back up to a seated position. Finding a seat that's comfortable for you. Bringing your hands to your heart center. Close your eyes again for just a moment and thank yourself for taking time out of your day for your practice. Thank your body for what it does for you each day. Take a deep breath in, reach your arms all the way up towards the ceiling, look up. And then exhale, bring your hands back to the heart center. Take a nice deep breath in again. And this time, sigh it out. Thank you so much for being here with me today. May you be healthy and strong. May you be safe and free from harm, both physically and emotionally. May you remember to focus on at least one thing that we're grateful for each day. I honor the light, the goodness in each of you.